Hi, and welcome to Charametrics. I'm Stephen Ferrugia, one of the co-creators of Charametrics. And in this video, I'm going to give you an insight and overview about how you unpack your Charametrics profile and how it links to your Character 360 feedback. So let's get started. Now, when it comes to character, there's really three important steps in your character discovery and growth journey. The first is to identify what are your leading character strengths. The second is to explore whether those strengths are in what we call the thriving state. And the third is to get trusted, intuitive feedback from your community about what are your leading strengths and where you might grow next through feedback from that trusted community. So let's get into the profile so you can understand what you're reading. Once you scroll past the home page, which has QR code links back to your Charametrics and also to continue on for your Character 360 feedback, you'll get to this first main page here. It's called the Character Archetypes and Persona Quadrants page. This is a rich summary of your beautifully unique character and how your strengths are showing up. Now, right down the bottom here, you'll first notice an easy overview of what your three leading strengths are. Now, our strengths can manifest in different archetypes based on the context of growth that we choose to engage with, either professional, social, and spiritual. Now, Charametrics is one of the only profiles on the planet that will give you feedback in all three contexts of growth. Now, these three strengths are then described as the archetypes related to those character strengths. The storyteller, the elder, and the cleric. And in the self-discipline, it's the master, the builder, and the weaver. And in wisdom, it's the leader, the orchestrator, and the magician. Now, where these come from are these 12 character archetype segments shown here on the character archetypes wheel. And in the center, you'll see a green profile shape that demonstrates your profile strengths. You can see purposefulness, which is this segment here, is 2.27 times stronger than the global average represented in green. Now, Charametrics is a dynamic profile based on all the live feedback from people all around the planet. It shows how your strengths are uniquely showing up in comparison to others. Now, once you have clarity on your three strengths, your living archetype is really the combination of your leading strengths. For this example profile that we have up here, it's the storyteller, the master, and the leader when it comes to the professional sphere. It's the elder, the builder, and the orchestrator when it comes to the social sphere. And in the spiritual domain, it's the cleric, the weaver, and the magician. Now, it doesn't matter which domain you choose to grow your character through, or in fact, some people choose all three. The power is understanding your strengths and then next going on to explore whether they are in what we call the thriving state. Now, once you're clear on your character archetypes and character strengths, there's a secondary component here which is called persona quadrants. And what that is the makeup of the collective strengths of your character. Character traits and archetypes to the top of the character archetypes wheel are typically more visionary in nature. The ones on the bottom are more grounded in nature. The ones to the right are more what we call activators, process and outcome centric. And the ones to the left are more what we call integrator, people and feeling centric. So when you can see your strengths in any one of these quadrants, you'll see what percentage of makeup goes into your persona. And unlike Briggs and DISC, we don't compartmentalize you as a person. We know human beings are incredibly complex, and in fact, they can be very well-rounded, or they can be very skewed in the way that they interact with the world and our friends and environment. So Charametrics allows you to represent yourself how you truly are. Now, this profile here is what we call the Vigor persona, a visionary integrator by 27% and a grounded activator by 27%. But you can see it's quite a balanced profile, being 25% in visionary activator and 19% in grounded integrator. Very well-rounded profile. And your profile is going to be uniquely your own. So that's where personas come from. It's the makeup of what is really the fabric of all people, which is human character. Character creates all aspects of our being, including our persona. And Charametrics goes a lot deeper than personality, and it goes right to the core of our being, which is human character. Now, for the premium profiles, the paid profiles, you will get a lot more information around persona quadrants, about all the different character archetypes and their nuances. You'll also get a detailed description of your character focus, how your character layers are performing, and your balance between performance and moral. You'll also get a breakdown about your preferred lens of engaging the world, how you prefer to be valued, your evolution stage, and a lot more information, including how you're showing up in teams. Now, what we give to all the profiles, the freemium and the premium, is your character strengths in detail. Now, the freemium gets your primary strength included with the profile. And what's included in that is a summary in great detail, including a video describing what your leading strength is. It also links into how that strength and that archetype shows up in the professional domain, in the social domain, and in the spiritual domain. And it will give you some insights there about some of the challenges that present with this archetype. And those challenges can be under-evolved, or what's more commonly experienced is overutilized. So when we have these beautiful super strengths, what tends to happen is that we lean into them. And sometimes we can lean into them a little bit too much, and it creates turbulence in our lives and others' lives. The last section describes what the archetype looks like in the thriving state. Now, when we scroll further along, it'll give you a self-evaluation that you can either do on your own or with a character coach to understand, are my archetypes overutilized in each of the different perspectives that we might be engaging with life. And on the left side here, it explores when others don't present with this strength, is that triggering to you, which is also potentially a challenge. And when your character is thriving, you won't be triggered by those that don't present with it, and you'll be able to wield that strength in a way that is thriving and not overutilized. Now, the full paid profiles will get that for all three character strengths, plus the growth profile. And then it will lead you to a character growth plan at the end where you can write down how you want to develop your character and set activities. It will guide you through the best ways to look at that. Again, if you want a deep dive immersive experience, you might want to consider engaging a professional character coach. Now, once you've completed that, it opens up the last part of the character growth journey. You now know your strengths, you've just explored whether they're thriving or not, and the very last part of the journey, which is the most important part, is to see whether those strengths are turning up in those that you trust. And we do that by asking them for trusted Character 360 feedback. Now, by using the link that's either on your Charametrics profile or by logging back in to the Charametrics portal, you can come through to what we call the Character 360 dashboard. This dashboard looks exactly like what I have up on the screen now. On the left side, you've got feedback from internal connections, and on the right side, you've got feedback from external connections. Now, these connections can either be your professional or your social, and they can be managers, peers, and team members. They can be suppliers, friends, and clients. On the left there, you've got all the links to send a pre-crafted template out to those trusted invites, and it will collect confidential feedback around really three main things. One is how you're turning up in terms of trust in your relationships, and the second is what are your three greatest strengths from the perspective of those that you trust. And the last is what is the biggest growth opportunity in your character based on suggested feedback from your trusted community. So let me take you to the report next to see what that looks like after you get a minimum of 3 responses. Once you receive a minimum of 3 responses to maintain confidentiality, this is the report that can be downloaded from the dashboard. Now, it's a dynamic report. As more responses come in, you'll be able to download this report again and get the most up-to-date information. There's a link here to get back to the reports in the dashboard. And then as you scroll through your report, it will give you a summary of the questions that have been asked. The 5 C's of trust, the 3 strengths of your character, and the 1 suggested growth area for your character. The report will look like this. The freemium report gives you all the trust insights, and the full paid premium report will give you all of the growth feedback and the rich suggestions from your trusted community. Now, your growth around character and trust is represented by this optimism, this pessimistic, and this average view of the feedback. It breaks it down by the groups, but in order to get a response for any one group, you'll need at least 3 responses in that group, again to maintain confidentiality, to ensure that you're getting really honest feedback from your trusted community. And this is powerful to understand whether we're turning up a little differently in any dynamic that we're engaging with. It'll break that down by each group, and again you'll need 3 for each group to get a response. You'll see here that there wasn't enough responses for this group in this example. And then this last section, which is part of the premium profile, will give you insights onto your greatest strengths. And what we're looking for here is to see whether those strengths that you've identified in yourself are turning up in your community. That's your biggest opportunity for growth, that we've got these amazing strengths and that we're wielding them and that they're seen by our community. Your community is going to give you feedback around how those strengths have inspired them, and also if they feel there's any opportunities to further improve those strengths, some insights around whether you're overutilizing them. Once you get all this lovely feedback from your trusted community, the last section here is your growth focus. So this allows you to see where your community has intuitively sensed that there's a further opportunity to enhance your character by focusing on specific traits and archetypes. That also includes what good looks like, plus some feedback about how to get there. So there you have it, Charametrics and Character 360 profiles in a nutshell. If you've enjoyed that and you want to learn more, feel free to follow us on our website or follow along and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we look forward to your character growth journey, seeing great expansion. Thank you.